Welcome back to the channel. And those of you who are new, I am Denise Brady. I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist who loves pop culture, mental health, reality TV, documentaries, movies. The list goes on. Now, I am finally caught up on The Villa, after The Villa. Now, I see for some of y'all why this show is kind of boring because I think that it doesn't have the drama, the chaos that people were expecting on, another Love Island franchise. But for me as a therapist, looking at friendship dynamics, relation dynamics, which I love, we talk all about female friendships over here. So tap in, hit that like, subscribe to the channel, join the membership. It's only $1. We go live multiple times a week. I upload videos multiple times a week, and you want to be a part of the community. Now, watching this is a lot of female dynamics, a lot of female friendships, sisterhood built upon safety and security of a high stress pressure situation. Now you have Liv and Kaylor, who in the villa were one type of, friendship. And I think that type of friendship was in that bubble. Was in the bubble of we're in this environment, we only have each other, we have no outside friends, no outside connections. We don't know how much we're blowing up on the outside. And so because of that, they were able to just hone in on, I think, safety. The safety that I think Liv brought towards Kaylor, who's a girl who's been through a lot of childhood trauma, not being able to trust people. And the foundation was built that I can trust you. Liv, I can trust you. You're like my sister. You've been there for me. We saw her then in the villa, pouring belief, encouraging at times. But when I was recapping the show last summer, I often said, what do we know about Liv? What do we still know about her? Not a lot. Okay. We really don't know a lot. And I'm wondering how that adds to a friendship where you're building trust off of brief moments inside of a bubble and you really don't know the person. Trust built out of stress, feeling lost, disconnected. When both these people, to me, have a lot of trauma. Liv herself has trauma, but because she does not talk about herself, we really don't know much about her. And that's somebody who, to me, has always had to fend for themselves, who is hyper independent. And sometimes you have to be careful about these type of people because they can be chameleons who are out to get you, take from you. Okay. Now we get into these first two episodes of The Villa. And I feel like it definitely displays to me that reality TV can activate flight, freeze, or fight mode, sometimes fawn. Okay. I think Liv and Kaylor have both experienced betrayal and emotional dysregulation in the villa. Think about it. You got cameras in your face, you got producers in your face, do this, say that, right here, right now, these different men coming in, the different female relationships. So that brought on a bond. But what kind of bond? Was it a healthy one? Was that soil being watered? Or was it concrete being watered? Looking at these first couple episodes, we see them after the villa trying to, I think, live life now that fame has set in. Okay, now that fame has set in, and you see them trying to navigate the real world. And there's a third in their relationship. Not trauma, like I normally say. That third is Kendall. Okay, Kendall to me is a representation of people pleasing. I don't really feel like he has a storyline of his own just yet in these two episodes. He is the yes person to Liv. Okay, I don't want to say he's in the middle. He's just kind of there. At times he kind of gives the gay bestie. Okay, but he's just there. And so you see how, in my opinion, their relationship was formed as a survival response for needed safety, like I said, validation, and co regulation in an emotionally unsafe environment. And you have that environment in a bubble. And then what happens when you get out of the bubble? You take the same foundation of that relationship into the next season, into the next chapter, also with fame and parasocial relationships. Okay. And through these, first couple episodes, we are seeing, in my opinion, as a therapist, I feel like Liv wants Kaylor's spot. And it's sad that, Kaylor at times, her anxious attachment style, her being codependent on relationships. At first, I thought it was just male relationships, but I think at times it can be relationships in general. Now, I do think at times we are currently seeing, 'cause we're only 2 episodes in, we are currently seeing a more, dare I say, emotionally regulated version of Kaylor at the moment. And we're going to talk about that also. But we see different instances of Liv, to me, trying to take Kaylor's spot, use her, manipulate. And some of y'all are friends with people who have constantly and always been in survival mode, that everybody is looked at as a lick, as a mark. What can I gain from you? What can you bring to me? Not what can I pour into the friendship, but what can I gain? And watching this, I often felt like Liv was looking at and has used Kaylor in a more, what can I gain from you? Staying with her and her family for some months, probably while the show was waiting to be, while they're still putting together things for LA, for them to come over to LA and film. Liv needs somewhere to stay. Did she really want to go back overseas, and miss on all the opportunities that present themselves when the show was first, evolving and they were first getting out of the villa? No. Stay with Kaylor. Okay? Follow Kaylor around. And unfortunately, because Kaylor has had so much distrust in her relationships, she at times falls for the okey doke. Someone present themselves that they could trust, that she can trust them. Oh, you care about me? Do you really care about me, or do you care about what I could offer you? And you guys have to look at how your trauma shows up in your friendship dynamic. Okay. From a trauma perspective, friendships formed in high stress environments often serve as a form of nervous system regulation, your body regulating. Okay. Oh, it's stressful in here, but you represent the calm. And Liv at times is calm on the outside, but I think through her manipulation techniques, stealing, okay, she shows that on the inside, she is emotionally dysregulated, while Kaylor at times shows that she's emotionally dysregulated on the outside. And I think for both these women, they served as one another's emotional anchor, a safe person. I think Liv at times has probably clung on to Taylor, sorry, Kaylor, clung on to Kaylor in times of distress. Let's talk about this incident, because something apparently has happened to Liv with the gentleman, and she reached out to her safety, which is Kaylor. And for some reason this night, Kaylor did not answer or pick up the phone. That was looked at as, oh, I can't trust you. It's probably also looked at as rejection. Okay. And so she not only rejected her, she pushed her away. And in some ways, I think by not inviting her to certain events, hair and makeup, this birthday party, I'm going to punish you. Look at your own dynamics, how when things happen in your friendships, how your friend punishes you. Are they slow to text? Do they invite you less? Okay. What does it look like for a friend to punish you? That often can manipulate the same dynamic you have with your parents. The punishment from those parents You are now in a friendship where you're being punished also. Is it similar? Is there a parallel process happening here where you are in the center of it? Because I think in some ways Liv was wanting to punish her. But Liv to me is a chameleon. What can I gain from you? And I think, oh, if Kaylor doesn't show up or Kaylor's not here, I can be the spotlight. I can get the attention. It can be all about me. And it's like looking at their relationship, trauma bonding versus safe attachment. Now, their relationship, the foundation of it is not necessarily a textbook trauma bond. Because when y'all think of trauma bonds, y'all think of it as this cookie cutter thing. What you have to realize is that it doesn't always look the same. I think Kaylor and Liv are an example that trauma bonds are not cookie cutter and they're not a monolith. They look very different. They have hints of trauma aligned bonding over identification with shared pain. The pain that they probably have gone through with men, I think with parents, and some of it dealing with the pain of this show, the thing that they have experienced, and emotional dependency. And when one person doesn't feel like they are getting what they need, that emotional codependency that they have on one another, there's a lash out. And so far, I've seen mainly Liv lashing out and not so much Kaylor in these first two episodes. So I'm wondering if their relationship was built off of healing or mutual unprocessed hurt. And so I think it's not a good idea to have all these different people involved in their relationship because they all have their own stuff going on, whatever trauma work that they're doing themselves. It can get in the way of, I think, Kaylor and Liv having a friendship. But we also have to talk about these different connections. Janae, Aaron, and dang, what is his name? Why am I having a brain fart right now? Kendall. Oh, I'm not good with names, y'all. I think these women have faced emotional rejection and loss of control during the show. And I don't think that Kendall and Janae are good people to come in and kind of, I don't know, they play a role that I don't think is really healthy. I have a lot of thoughts about Janae and Kenny's relationship. We're going to get into that in another video. I have some unpopular opinions, but I know it's going to play out. So it's going to give me some opportunity to talk about it later. But yeah, it ain't all sugar over there. Okay. Some control issues. But with Aaron, it's similar because I think when Kaylor was into Aaron, she was hyper focused on Aaron. Now Liv is trying to date, get a green card, stay in the country. She is hyper fixated on dating and these new guys, whatever. And I think, that's another dynamic of bringing men into the relationship, how that impacts the loss of power and finding power and connection. Sometimes finding power and connection is not healthy for the friendship because what's the foundation there? What are the attachment styles? I feel like Kaylor has more of an anxious attachment style with some codependency behaviors, whereas Liv to me comes off more fearful avoidant. Friendships may have restored a sense of power and agency and voice. A trauma-informed framework seems connection as one of the most powerful tools for healing. And I think in some ways, Kaylor is on her healing journey. Notice I add the ing at the end because we're all human. We're all going through a healing journey. But I wonder if in some ways, Kaylor's a little bit further in her self-development journey, more than probably Liv is. And I think, there's another aspect of jealousy that I could see. Liv could be jealous that Kaylor is getting all these deals, all the fame and attention, and Liv is not. And so watching these 2 episodes, I don't think that this friendship is worth saving. Once trust is, the foundation of trust is lost, it's hard to get that back in a friendship. And then you add power, money, fame, and men in a friendship group. Okay? It's gonna be hard to come back from that with there's so many different things happening at one time. And I really disagree with Janae. I hate when friends do this. Oh, we'll all meet up, but I won't tell the other person that the other person's coming. That is also ruining the trust. Do you want me to ruin my trust with you too, Janae? Even though I think that there's some more unconditional love between Janae and Kaylor that I don't think she saw it like that. But for me as a therapist, I'm like, this girl has trust issues and this is what you do. Okay. But watching them have this conversation, it was very much, I feel like Liv was like not taking accountability. And I often tell you guys, look at people you have relationships with who struggle to take accountability. But I think once again, Liv was hurt by whatever happened that night, Kaylor not answering the phone. So she recoiled and decided to punish and push away. Instead of having the emotional intelligence of, let's have a conversation, let's talk about this, let's be adults. But a lot of relationships nowadays lack the foundation of emotional intelligence because that was not mirrored to you as a child. And so something that was not shown to you, how do you make it a habit in your own life? We don't even know it exists. You don't know how to implement it into your own relationship. Okay. But all these couples, friendships, it just feels so divided. And that's the thing that's missing. Oh, I've been talking too much today. Sessions, live stream. Okay. That's what's missing from this show is synergy. This show doesn't have synergy. The friendships are too far apart. And for a show like this to work, they have to come like this. You have Leah and Miguel doing their own thing, Serena and Cordell doing their own thing, Janae and Kenny. Then you got Connor here, who, Connor and Kendall have no purpose to me. I really don't know. I guess they couldn't get some of the other people to do the show. So they were kind of left, okay, we need to still do something. I feel like they were fallback plans. I think Kendall was probably supposed to come on here with his girlfriend, but she like, I ain't doing this right now. I'm done with him. Okay. And I forgot the other guy's name who was from the country. He probably like, I ain't really for that Hollywood life. So they're like, okay, what do we do now? But the show lacks synergy, drama, and synergy. Okay. At least if you're going to have drama, you don't really need synergy. But you don't have drama or synergy. So you have a cast of people who are living in LA in these Airbnbs who so far have not come together. And that's what they have to work on, because if they want you to watch next season or maybe even continue to watch a show with no drama, no synergy, they got to figure out what that third things that they can bring in. But right now, it's kind of lacking. All right. But I enjoy looking at the dynamics of the different relationships. Let me know, what are your thoughts about the friendship dynamic between these two girls? Can you relate in your own life? Okay. I also want to know what you think about this. Do you feel like it's no synergy, that it's too separated for it to be a show where everybody's supposed to connect and have friendships? All right. But I'm Denise Brady. I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist. Make sure you hit that like, you subscribe, join the membership for $1, support the channel, and now we'll see you in the next video. Bye.